It's interesting. So we have two main divisions. One is our single-family division, which typically focuses on either single-family homes, duplexes, fourplexes, smaller stuff, and then a commercial division that primarily focuses on larger apartment buildings. The project we recently finished was 150 units. The one that's under construction is a little bit smaller. The new one that we're looking to finance and hope to get permits for is about 300 units.
Welcome to Business Ninjas, brought to you by WriteForMe, where you'll hear from business leaders who are out there growing their business and slaying it every day. Learn from the masters. Let's get started.
Hi, and welcome to another episode of Business Ninjas. I'm here today with Eugene Gershman, CEO of GIS Companies. How you doing today, Eugene?
Doing great. Pleasure being here.
Oh, I appreciate you spending some time with us on Business Ninjas. Please tell us a little bit about yourself and about GIS Companies.
Well, GIS is a group of real estate development and construction companies. We have two main divisions. One is a general contractor. We build primarily residential, multifamily, and single-family properties. And then the other arm is a development group that works on our own projects. We invest into our own projects, and we also work as consultants for other investors.
Excellent. And what's the origin story of GIS? When did they come to be?
We're a family-owned business. My father originally started it over 30 years ago. Now it's my sister, her husband, and I primarily running our development and residential construction division. And, now kids are asking questions if they're going to join. So hopefully it's going to become a family legacy.
Excellent. Now, did you come all the way up through the business, or do you have a different background that brought you back to GIS?
It's funny. I obviously grew up around my father's business, and then I went to college and I majored in economics. Then after I graduated, I got this internship in an investment company, and as an intern, I started doing some financial retirement planning, financial consulting, that type of work. Got my securities license, and then went in for my MBA. And as I was completing my MBA, my father calls me and he says, "Hey, I've got this project. Sounds interesting, but do you mind taking a look at it?" I'm like, "Sure, send me the details." So I looked at it and we got together. I'm like, project sounds interesting. The numbers look right. Obviously, you got to do the due diligence, but on the surface, it looks good. He goes, "Well, I'm going to this meeting in a couple of weeks. Do you mind joining me just, to help me out?" So, I joined him for a meeting to help him out, to kind of listen, ask questions. And then, one meeting after another, we need to set up a new entity and a new branch for the company. And my dad goes, "Well, it'd be nice if I had somebody that I could trust." I'm like, okay, fine.
So there was a slow motion breadcrumb trail being laid out in front of you. Is that not how it went?
Exactly. So that's how I joined the family business.
All right. Well, hey, he sent you off to get an education and then reeled you back in. That's
right.
not a bad plan. Now, you guys are located in the Seattle area.
That's right.
And is that where the vast majority, if not all of your work is done?
Yeah, the bulk of our business is around here now.
Okay. What makes you stand out from your competition in Seattle?
Well, we like to say that, we offer complete transparency to our clients, our investors, to the end consumer. Our construction company is a fully open book. When we partner with property owners, we typically invest our profits into the business, and until the project is done and liquidated, we're not making any profits. We like to get our overhead covered, just the cost of doing business. But that's kind of our model. We bring in our resources, our expertise, and our knowledge to property owners who have great ideas, great sometimes designs or permits for their sites, and then we help them with financing. We put together the entire financial capital stack, and then we bring in our construction expertise and get the projects built.
Any particular size of company, property owner, or project that you work best with?
It's interesting. So we have two main divisions. One is our single family division, which typically focuses on single family homes, duplexes, fourplexes, smaller stuff. And then a commercial division that primarily focuses on larger apartment buildings. The project we recently finished was 150 units. The one that's under construction is a little bit smaller. The new one that we're looking to finance and hope to get permits for is about 300 units. We kind of found that in the commercial space, under 100 units, multifamily is hard to pencil. Similarly with single family projects, they are more attractive to true custom buyers, custom clients that want to design something unique rather than competing with the typical spec builders.
Gotcha. All right. Tell me about the COVID years. I assume there was a fair bit of slowdown in your sector. I'm not acutely aware of how things were running in Seattle. Tell me about how you were able to sustain the business and grow it through the COVID years.
Actually, we did not even notice the slowdown. Well, it's funny. We started two of our projects in February 2020. And in construction, as you know, the first thing you got to do is you got to dig the dirt. So, and Seattle, it's not too cold, but it's kind of wet and rainy. So we needed to navigate the weather. But we started excavation, we started the work, and then, the government announced lockdowns in March. Except for essential businesses. We're like, well, we're kind of building commercial, but also residential stuff. And we do have a housing shortage. So there's no real definition of essential. We're like, can we call ourselves essential? And most of our work at that point is outside. So, being respectful to the virus and everything and people's fears, we're like, okay, well, we're working outside. So can we get that done? So, after first few weeks kind of trying to figure it out and, doing a lot of Zoom calls with our team, we finally approached the city and we said, look, can we go back because we're working outside? And the city said, okay, fine. If you are working outside and you do believe that you're essential, you can do the work. However, you cannot do any work in the city right away. We're like, we do need to export the dirt. We cannot get the dirt out of our site, off-site, without crossing the city street. So we ended up having about a 6-week break, which actually gave us time because there was still some design work that needed to be done, still some permitting work that needed to be finished up. So that helped us out to get our ducks in a row there. And back in May of 2020, we went back to work. They said construction may resume, so we all went back to work. The funniest and the most challenging part was with some of our younger project engineers who kept asking questions. Well, can I work from home? We're like, no, we're in construction. You've got to be out of the job site. So, but no, we didn't really experience other than the 6-week break there. It was super busy. There was a massive labor shortage. And then shortly thereafter, we started seeing cost escalations. So it's been really busy. And I spent a lot of my time kind of mixed between office and home. In the 6 weeks, we kind of figured out how we're going to set up our household situation so that I could have a desk relatively quiet. But, pretty soon I went back to the office. So people have been telling me how they've been at home for 2 years. And I'm like, I don't know what that feels like.
Well, hey, you got lucky. Because you're in the new construction space, I guess that some of the interest rate hikes haven't necessarily hit you in terms of refis and things like that. You're not doing remodels, so you're constructing new homes, correct?
New homes, yes, and new construction. I mean, not during the COVID times. That didn't affect us. Obviously, in the last year, all the interest rate hikes have been very challenging. We do have active construction loans that are floating rate loans, so it's definitely a challenging environment.
All right, let's switch gears. It's 2023 and you got to tell your story across channels so people know who you are and why they should do business with you. What role has content played in the growth of GIS?
Sorry, what do you mean by that question?
Well, I mean, you have a website, you advertise, there has to
Mhm.
be some presence out there. It's not all just word of mouth in the construction business, I assume.
Oh yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, I mean we do network quite a bit in the community here. I mean we have our individual principals have their own individual LinkedIn pages. We do have Facebook, company Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram. So we do have some social media promotion. Right now, we are finishing up a condominium project here in the area, so we're utilizing a lot of social media promotion. So that's kind of the main source, and then yeah, some referrals, word of mouth, of course. Once in a while we do send out a newsletter to let our network know what we're doing. So that's been mostly our avenues for promotion.
Excellent. All right, fast forward a year from now, what are some things you'd like to be celebrating personally and professionally?
Well, let's see. What I would like to do is I would like to have our construction and development companies be self-sustained, not necessarily relying on each other. A construction company not relying on a new business that the development arm brings, or the other way around. And we'd like to have happy employees and happy customers. We have been researching, working out the model for some sort of employee stock ownership plan. Would like to see that to be implemented, and yeah, just kind of seeing the sustained growth, and then expanding beyond our region here.
Excellent. Well, hey, I appreciate that, instead of reaping short-term profits, you're constantly investing in your own company and your own employees. That's a beautiful model. All right, please tell us, what's your URL? Where can people find GIS companies and what social media outlets you're using these days as well?
GIScompanies.co. That's our main website. And other than that, LinkedIn, GIS Companies, Facebook, GIS Companies, Instagram, GIS Companies. I do not remember all those handles, but if you search GIS Companies, you'll definitely find us in those platforms.
Mr. Google will point them in the right direction.
Right.
Eugene Gershman of GIS Companies, thank you for spending some time with us here on Business Ninjas today. I wish you and yours and GIS Companies all the best in the future.
Thank you, Andrew.